Hello everyone, welcome to Wilkes Now. I'm Jerome Hannon.
And I'm Brianna Ebish.
Well, we are at the end of the semester and this is our final show for this semester.
Yeah, I'm really sad it's come to the end, but I'm really excited for break and to come back next semester, so it's a good time.
Yeah, I've got a lot of plans and I need my time to clear my mind, so I'm glad to have been with you for this first semester. Wilkes University's annual Giving Tree Project is underway. We're partnering with the CYC again this year to provide warm new pajamas for the children in their preschool program. The CYC has been providing safe and educational programming for the youth in our area since 1948. Trees can be found in the Henry Student Center and Cohen Science Center. Please choose a tag, purchase the appropriate item, wrap the gift if possible, and securely attach the tag. Return your gift to the information desk on the first floor of the Henry Student Center or the Interfaith office on the second floor of the Henry Student Center by Friday, December 14th. Questions? Contact Kristen Ossapower at kristen.ossapower@wilkes.edu. Thank you in advance for your generosity this holiday season. Let's check in with Cabrini for this week's Beacon Briefs.
Welcome to the Beacon Briefs. I'm Cabrini Renicki, the co-news editor for the Beacon here at Wilkes. Here's what's going on. Wilkes University email was recently plagued by a recent spam attack. The email, which will claim to be from a staff supervisor, says that a manager is busy in a meeting and needs either wired money or purchased items like gift cards. IT says the best course of action is deleting the email and says to not reply to the email. Those unsure of the email, if the email is legitimate, should contact help desk at extension 4357. If you believe your account was compromised, you should reset your email through the ITS website. In other news, self-named graffiti Bovis was spotted on campus last week. The graffiti was spotted painted on newspaper on bulletin boards in Bryceth and the Student Union building on campus. Anyone with information on the matter should contact public safety. Thanks for checking in, guys. That's all I have for today. I'm Cabrini Renicki, and this is Beacon Briefs. Now let's get back to the studio.
Thanks, Cabrini. Please join EE 342 students at 4:30 p.m. on Friday, December 7th in the Mark Engineering Center, SLC 173, for the running of the trains. The students from EE 342, Microcomputer Operation and Design, have been developing, interfacing, and programming microcontroller-based computers throughout the semester. At the running of the trains, each will be controlling part of an HO gauge railroad in the laboratory. You are invited to attend the demonstration as well as we see if the trains are indeed run. Refreshments will be provided. Now, let's check in with Ian for another episode of Ian's Business Bonanza.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Wilkes Business Bonanza, hosted by me, J.M. Ray. Today we're looking at Cole Creative. So, could you tell us a little bit about the history of your business?
Well, our business actually started, the concept of it at least, about maybe 6 or 7 years ago now. Our founder and owner, Gerard Durling, knew that it was time for him to kind of put his portfolio pieces together. A lot of his background was based in graphic design and web design and things like that. And instead of buying a domain name that was gerarddurling.com to kind of showcase what he had already been doing, he decided to come up with colecreative.com so that he can actually create a brand around it. The name itself, Cole, tying back into the roots of the area here, and creative, that was just a very typical word that was used in a lot of agencies that were kind of popping up in other major cities. And so he kind of streamed that together and the business got started, and it's grown pretty immensely since then.
For instance, 2 years ago, I started here as a video producer, and when I started, it was just a one-off video project. But since then, our video team has grown up to 3 guys, and we have a lot of really cool, exciting video projects coming out.
What do you do here at Cole Creative?
Like I said, we've been doing a lot more video work around here at Cole Creative. A lot of times, a client will come in to us with just an idea, and they'll sit down with us on these couches, and we'll just kind of brainstorm through a concept, and we'll take a client all the way from that idea to a finished product within their timeline there.
Yeah. And then in addition to our video team and all of those projects we focus a lot on website design and development as well as graphic design, print design, and then social media management and kind of consulting in general. I would say every client that comes through gets some kind of consulting and strategizing from us in some way, shape, or form, just because we're very based in digital marketing. And I would say a lot of our client base is actually a little bit of the older generation, so they kind of look to us too as experts just from kind of living and being millennials.
Right.
And then, of course, being experts within the field of marketing, so they look to us for that too.
Now, can you tell us about some of the clients you do work for in this business?
We actually have the opportunity to work with a lot of different clients, whether it's small businesses, individuals, even just campaign work. I would say more of the recent work we've done. We just wrapped up a project for the Governor's Awards. It was a big project highlighting the arts in all 67 counties of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. So that was a really exciting project, and every single person on our team got to work on that. But aside from that, we work a lot with the United Way of Wyoming Valley. We have the Woodlands as a client, Chikara, which is a independent wrestling company based down in Philadelphia. What else we got going on?
We host a weekly podcast here for NEPA Scene, which is really cool. They bring in a lot of great musicians and artists, or just people who are making moves here in NEPA on the podcast, again, on these couches every single week.
Yeah.
And that's just to name a few of the clients that we have.
Why did you choose to open your business in the Wyoming Valley?
So Gerard had made that decision way back when, because he's actually a fan and advocate of the area and supporting the growth and development here, especially when you are passionate about something. He, especially I guess we would say in the realm of creativity and what we do with being web and video, it's not necessarily something that you see a lot of here. And a lot of people, especially students, we talk about a lot, they think that they have to move to Philadelphia or Los Angeles or someplace like that, New York City, to find jobs within creative agencies. So it was really important for him to be able to start something right here in NEPA, show that it can grow, show that it was important, and it was a realistic idea, which I think we've proven over the last few years now. So now as our team, it's really cool because we've been able to do so well that Gerard has started a secondary business right here in NEPA as well. That's actually worldwide. It's called Powerbomb.tv. And it's cool because I would say every single person on our team now supports the fact that our business exists right here in NEPA, and we wouldn't want it anywhere else. So,
any final words you want to say about Cole Creative?
Yeah, actually, we would love for the viewers to know that we offer internships all throughout the year, so 3 semesters, fall, spring, as well as summer, in a variety of different positions, and we even create new positions depending on where the company's at, or even just whoever's submitting their resumes, and we think that we might be able to create a cool opportunity for a student. Primarily, we look to fill within video production as well as graphic design. We now have a communications and social media intern that we try to bring in every semester, and then a business development intern. But again, we have even worked with students in the past that came to us as accounting majors that have just kind of a passion outside of the classroom for video work or things like that, so they can get exposure on the business side as well as the creative side. And it's really cool because I personally think, you're not only getting real life experiences, real life portfolio pieces within our internships, but you're also getting to work with our team, which is also really well versed and I would say integrated into the local community, and we're all working on our own projects. We have Sam and Matt, who's in the other room. They co-founded an app called Tunefly. We have Will, who's on the video team. He's within a band called Rosary Guild. We have Jess, who works on, not even works on, but she's really involved with the theater community. So as you can see, there's a lot of different kind of people and personalities and connections that we have right here within our team. So we would love to have anyone submit their resume and come in and just check out the studio space and meet us.
Thank you very much for taking the time out of your day for us to interview you.
Yeah, thank you so much. It was
Absolutely.
a pleasure.
It was nice meeting you, J.M.
And this has been Wilkes Business Bonanza. Thank you for joining us this week. See you next week, and back to you guys in the studio.
Thank you, JM. The Wilkes community is invited to a menorah lighting provided by Bais Menachem outside of Capon Hall at 4 p.m. on Tuesday, December 4th. Come share in the festivities and learn about the holiday. The brief ceremony will be followed by refreshments. Community menorah lightings will continue throughout Hanukkah nightly at 5:15 p.m. at the Jewish Community Center, 60 South River Street, Wilkes-Barre. For more information, contact Kristen Ossapower, Interfaith Coordinator, at kristen.ossapower@wilkes.edu or extension 5904.
We will be right back with more Wilkes Now after this short break.
Mother Earth, a gift under our care. Let's not go back. Nurture nature. Nourish the soil and your soul. Let's mend our planet together. Make Mother Earth smile.
Welcome to Sports Now. I'm your host, Kirsten Peters. This week in winter sports, men's ice hockey, men's basketball, women's basketball, men's swimming, and wrestling tacked on victories to their record. Men's ice hockey took the top spot with 2 wins this weekend, a 5-3 victory over Manhattanville and a 5-4 overtime victory against Newman. In the game against Manhattanville, the Colonels fell behind 1-0 after the first period. Early in the second period, Wade Novak tied up the game at 1 with the first Wilkes goal of the weekend. Less than 90 seconds later, Tyler Barrow was the recipient of a Donald Flynn pass to give the Colonels a 2-1 advantage early in the frame. However, Manhattanville would match Wilkes, putting up 2 goals of their own to relinquish the lead, 3-2. This would be the last of the scoring for Manhattanville, as the Colonels were able to make 3 more goals in the third period. Barrow scored in his second power play goal of the evening, and Phil Erickson tacked on 2 goals himself, the go-ahead goal and an empty netter with 41 seconds remaining to secure the victory. Much like in the win against Manhattanville, the Colonels' win against Newman started out in a similar fashion, with Newman taking the early 1-0 lead in the first period. 2 minutes after Newman's goal, Wilkes' Jeevan Sidhu tied the game at 1. However, the game presented itself to be of a back-and-forth fashion, with the Knights and the Colonels each tacking on another goal in the period to tie the game at 2 apiece. Devin Schell scored the second goal for the Colonels. In the second period, Newman took the lead 4-2, but 2 goals by the Colonels in the third period sent the game to overtime. Wilkes began their comeback with 1 exceptional penalty kick, as Erickson and Tyson Arujo scored unassisted, short-handed goals to tie the score at 4, sending the game into overtime. The Colonels wasted little time sending the fans home, as Michael Gurska picked an opportune time to register his first collegiate goal, 1 minute and 42 seconds into the extra period. This solidified the team's first overtime victory in program history. In goal for the Colonels, Brandon Gordon had back-to-back wins with 22 saves against Newman. As a result of his outstanding late-game efforts, Erickson earned the Offensive Player of the Week honor. Erickson helped Wilkes to a 2-0 week as the freshman notched 3 third-period goals and 2 come-from-behind victories. On the women's side, the ice hockey team fell to SUNY Canton twice this weekend. In the first matchup, Nicole Longboat scored the lone Colonel goal in the 7-1 loss. After falling to SUNY Canton the first time, the Colonels learned some of their tactics and proved to have a more competitive game in their second matchup, keeping the Kangaroos off of the scoreboard for the entirety of the first period. At 1:45 into the second period, the Colonels earned their first lead in program history on a Callie Erickson goal. However, this 1-0 lead wouldn't last long, as Newman went on to score 3 consecutive goals before Wilkes' Shauna Tubbs added the second Colonel goal late in the period, leaving the Colonels trailing 3-2 heading into intermission. Despite the improved gameplay by the Colonels, the Kangaroos were able to tack on 3 additional goals in the third period to win 6-2. On Wednesday, Drew University escaped with a 67-65 point victory over the Wilkes men's basketball team. The Colonels gained their first lead of the game with 5 minutes and 55 seconds remaining in the contest, when senior forward Tommy Bowen switched a 2-pointer and the additional and 1 shot clear through the net, putting the Colonels ahead 57-56. After sinking a 3-pointer, junior guard Rob Pecorelli stretched Wilkes' lead to 5. Pecorelli would put the last Colonel points on the board, as Drew's 2 leading scorers, Nate Aldrich and Drew Gallagher, did what they do best and regained the Rangers' lead, 66-65. After Bowen fouled out with 2.8 seconds remaining, Riley Collins tacked on the final free throw for Drew. According to Wilkes head coach Izzy Metz, Drew played aggressively in the half court on defense, and that caused us to take some quick shots in the first half. We talked at halftime about how we needed to make more passes during each possession to work for a good shot. Despite the change in the Colonels' game plan at halftime, they were unable to maintain the lead and ultimately fell short by 2 points. After falling to Drew in a close matchup, the Colonels soared past Clark Summit in a 106-55 victory, outscoring the defenders 44-22 in the paint. 4 players finished in double figures for Wilkes. The Colonels were led by Mark Mullins with 20 points and 9 rebounds. Marcus Robinson finished with 19 points and 4 assists. Pecorelli added 12 points, 5 rebounds, and 3 assists, while Bowen contributed 10 points and 4 rebounds. In all, 9 players recorded at least 5 points. As for women's basketball, Wilkes fended off a late charge by Penn State Harrisburg for a 67-64 victory in their only contest of the week. Maddie Kelly connected on a clutch three-pointer with 32 seconds left in the game to stop an 8-0 run by the Lions and restore the Colonels' lead to 7 points at 66-59. With the Lions closing in on the Colonels' lead again, Gab Giordano made 1 of 2 free throws with 16 seconds on the clock. This proved to be crucial as Penn State Harrisburg failed to connect on 2 game-tying three-point shot attempts. The Wilkes University wrestling team finished 2-1 at the McDaniel Duels Saturday afternoon. The Colonels posted wins over Southern Virginia 35-16 and host McDaniel 34-8 before falling to Ferrum College in a close match 20-15. In the win against Southern Virginia, Wilkes took the first 6 bouts and never looked back. The momentum continued in the Colonels' next match of the day, as Wilkes scored extra point wins in 5 of 8 bouts against McDaniel. Ferrum opened the third match with a technical fall at 125, followed by a decision at 133 to take an 8-0 lead. Cole Walters gave the Colonels their first lead of the match, but Ferrum reclaimed the advantage with back-to-back decisions and closed out the win with a 7-3 decision at heavyweight. As for men's swimming, they came out victorious over Lycoming, 109-96. This marks the first time the Colonels have beaten the Warriors in the 5 years since the swimming program has been restarted. Deciding the winner came down to the last event of the day, the 400 freestyle relay. The Wilkes team of Nick Martino, Ziad Kafaji, Christopher Daly, and Joseph Antolic edged out Lycoming by less than a second to win the race and secure the win. On the women's side of things, Wilkes fell to Lycoming 122-65. Despite the loss, Wilkes captured 3 victories on the day, as Morgan Williams, Allie Aspie, and Abby Keating each walked away with first-place finishes. That's the weekly recap for Sports Now. I'm Kirsten Peters, and we'll be right back after this public service announcement.
If you're not in control, then who is? Live above the influence.
If you want to stay on top of your health, one simple thing to do
is take the pledge to go and get screened for the cancers that might affect you.
So stand up, cancer, and take the pledge at GetScreenedNow.org.
It only takes a minute to take care of yourself,
and nothing rhymes with org.
Nope, nothing rhymes with org. Who wrote this?
And welcome to Wilkes Weather. I'm Tyler Aldinger. Currently outside, 33 degrees, still cloudy outside as the sun has yet to come out for how many days now, I can't tell you, to be completely honest. So looking ahead in this week, as I said, today AM clouds, but the sun hopefully coming out a little bit later, high of 34 degrees. Later in the week, Wednesday and Thursday, partly sunny, and it's pretty much going to stay the same for the rest of the week. Really not much going on, mid-30s, but with the wind, we're going to have to deal with temperatures that feel more like they're in the 20s. Before, though, Monday, it looks like temperature will climb up a little bit, but not much out of the mid-30s. So, as I said, colder temperatures. This was yesterday. As you can see, a lot of yellow and green up here, and that's obviously significant because this is a lot warmer air that's in the area. But then we look at tomorrow, and obviously 29 in East Stroudsburg and much colder temperatures, green and blue. So, like I said, for the most part, this week is going to stay fairly quiet, but for Saturday, we are going to be tracking a potential storm. Currently, it looks like it's going to be staying south of our area, But at 1 a.m., you can see this storm pretty much in Missouri, Arkansas, Louisiana, and by 1 p.m., it kind of breaks up a little bit, but then it's going to come back around 7 p.m. in the evening on Saturday. So something to look out for. Obviously, it's still very far out because that is this weekend, but as of right now, there is just a little bit of snow, some bands that could come with this, but for the most part, it looks like it's going to be staying relatively south of the area. So looking ahead, cold and blustery this week, very windy. It's going to make it feel like it's in the 20s, and a very quiet week, very little precipitation, mostly cloudy and sunny for the rest of the week, and the potential storm this weekend. Now we are going to send it to Renegade Reviews for more.
Hey. Hey you. Wanna go fast? Sonic Mania is a 2D high-speed platformer starring the one and only Sonic the Hedgehog. This game combines the best of both worlds by bridging the gap between the fans and developers of the Blue Blur. How does it do this, you might ask? Well, the answer is simple, by allowing fans to create the game. That's right, this game was a labor of love from start to finish, directed by Christian Whitehead, one of the most famous members of the Sonic fan game community. Prior to his work on Sonic Mania, Whitehead gained considerable fame and notoriety for porting some older Sonic games to iOS using his retro engine. After developing a working prototype for a game called Sonic Discovery, Whitehead went to the Sonic series producer, Takashi Lazuka. Lazuka loved this prototype, and he even suggested including some levels from older Sonic games, remixed in a way that made them feel fresh. With that, Sonic Mania was born. The name actually came from Lazuka himself, who referenced the development team's maniacal fandom for the series. In Lazuka's own words, this project was made by the Mania, for the Mania. So without further ado, let's dive into the Mania on this episode of Renegade Reviews. One element of Mania found in this game comes from the plot. Now this isn't your Papa's old Sonic adventure, things are a bit deeper here, kiddos. Gone are the days of just chasing Dr. Eggman around, because now you have to deal with his corrupted egg robos, the hard-boiled heavies. The story begins when Sonic and Tails fly to Angel Island to investigate a powerful energy reading. However, once they arrive there, they are greeted by Eggman's elite egg robos, which are already excavating the source of the signal, the Phantom Ruby. The Phantom Ruby corrupts the robots, transforming them into the powerful hard-boiled heavies. The hard-boiled heavies go rogue and no longer listen to Dr. Eggman. That means it's up to Sonic to travel through both new and old locations on Angel Island to not only stop Eggman's evil plan, but also the destruction of the hard-boiled heavies. Speaking of old and new locations, this game is jam-packed with levels every fan is sure to appreciate. There are 12 zones each, with 2 acts and 2 bosses to conquer, all in all. For the classic Sonic veterans, Sonic Mania boasts 8 iconic zones like Green Hill Zone, but remixed in a way that makes them feel new again. This is made possible using Whitehead's retro engine, which is specifically tailored to create two-dimensional games like those released for 32-bit or below era consoles, like the Sega Saturn or Sega Genesis. I personally love the remixes of these classic levels. Chemical Plant Zone in particular has never been more fun. The new ways of platforming and bouncing around the level make it one of the best remixes in this game. Before Sonic Mania, I never was able to enjoy Chemical Plant Zone, but this game has definitely made me a fan. In conclusion, if you couldn't tell by now, I love Sonic Mania. Sonic Mania is one of the best games in the Sonic the Hedgehog series. It truly deserves to be played and displayed proudly. This game is one of the best examples of what happens when a gaming company listens to their fans. And I am so happy Sega allowed independent game studios that grew up loving Sonic to recapture his glory days from the days of the Sega Saturn and the Sega Genesis. The plot throws a twist in the classic Sonic stops Eggman formula, and this pays off immensely. The remix zones are an absolute treat to play through and provide the definitive way to play through these levels, in my humble opinion. The new zones feel like modern classics and truly immerse the player in a classic Sonic experience. The references will make any fan of the franchise smile, and the bosses provide an entertaining change of pace from the amazing platforming throughout the game. I could go on and on about how much I love this game forever, but let me just say this. If you are a fan of the Blue Blur, be ready to catch the Mania and go out and enjoy Sonic Mania.
That's all the time we have for today. Just a reminder, you can watch us live every Tuesday on Service Electric Channel 97 at 12 noon. Also, check out our YouTube channel for episodes of the show.
And in case you missed it, our broadcast re-airs every weeknight at 7:30 p.m. I thank you very much for watching. From all of us here at Wilkes Now, have a great week.